guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazingly great. So you must be wondering, why am I all decked up? Because I just uploaded this look on my Instagram video. So if you want to see the video, you can go and check out my Instagram handle. So I'm back with another hashtag Storytime Saturday video. I'm so sorry that I could not upload the previous Saturday's video because I had just started flying and my flight was on Sunday. So I had to just brush up with few things, and I wanted to be mentally and physically prepared for the flight. So I had to drop the idea of uploading a Storytime Saturday video, but I did upload a video on a topic which a lot of you were asking me. So I spoke about what are the documents that you need to carry for a cabin crew interview, or for that matter any interview in general. So the link will be in the description box, and I'm also going to link down the playlist of the Storytime Saturday video if you haven't seen the videos till now, and if you're new to the channel. Today I have come up with a very interesting topic which a lot many of you are confused about and must be wondering what we do in such situations. So this video is specifically for all the ladies out there. If you're watching, I received a couple of questions from many girls asking me what we do in case we get periods on flight, okay, or what we do when we start PMSing on flight. So today I'm going to tell you what I go through and what are the things that I do to keep myself going on in the flight. It's not specific to flights only. Even in daily lives we come across this. If you are a working woman, or if you are just a college going or a school going girl, you must be having these issues. So I thought, let me just make a video on this, because I also have an incident which happened with me on board, not exactly me but with the passenger. So how I dealt with that, and what are the things that I do, just a gist about all those things in this video. So now I know that periods is something that everybody gets very moody about, and you have days where you just get so irritated and you just feel like throwing things, although you can't do that. But you come across these situations in which it is unbearable to adjust with the pain and the cramps that you have. And talking about a cabin crew, how they manage is something that not a great thing, because I think for us all humans, whether we are cabin attendants or whether we are a 9 to 5 working woman, or for that matter even a housewife, there is a lot of work that you need to do. And periods and chumming is something that happens to everyone. So it's not that we are special and something different happens to us on board, or we deal it in a very different way. It's something that you need to get accustomed to, because you do not have pretty much solution about that. How I deal with the situation is something I'm going to tell you now. So what I usually do is, we have a small bag and we have a stroller bag. So the suitcase is very big. We keep the suitcase in places in the aircraft which is visible to the passenger's eye. Now it is very difficult to remove items from that bag. So we have a small tote bag. It's a mini backpack which is accessible to us, and this bag is kept in such a location in which customer doesn't have to see what we are pulling out from the bag. So what I do usually is, I keep at least one packet of sanitary napkins with me always in my bag, because at times what happens, you are delayed on periods or it comes early. So you need to be mentally prepared, and you also have to be physically ready with all the stuff that you are going to have on flight. Because being a cabin attendant, you cannot go and ask a passenger for a sanitary napkin, because that seems to be very awkward. So we have to be prepared all the time. So keeping sanitary napkins in my bag, a full packet, is a mandatory for me all throughout the year. When a flight is, I carry a small sipper with me, and I fill it with hot water or lukewarm water, and I keep sipping on it, because that gives me kind of a relief. So I keep having hot or warm liquids all throughout the flight, especially on the days when I am having periods. Not necessarily when I'm PMSing, but definitely on my period days, so that it gives me some amount of relief. Now, if you are traveling and you come across this, you can also carry an empty bottle with you on flight, because you cannot take water in the flight. So what you can do is carry an empty bottle and ask the crew to give you some hot water or lukewarm water, and you can keep sipping on that. So that is something that will help you throughout the flight to feel a little more relaxed. So I have this mini heat bag that I got from Shein. Now it is like those traditional hot bags which we have at home as well, the big ones, but you get these small ones also. I got this for I think 399 rupees. This was like a year back. So it's just that you need to open the pouch here and fill in with hot water, and the normal thing that we do with hot bags. So I take this with me all the time. It's in my bag all the time. Now whenever I am in terrible pain, and naturally you want something that you can compress your back or your stomach with, so it gives me warmth and it keeps my muscles relaxed. So this helps me a lot. I think it's a great idea to have this in your bag wherever you go, because even when you're at somebody's home or a relative's place and you suddenly start chumming and they do not have a hot bag, this is your savior. It does not take a lot of space. You can just fold it and keep it in your bag like this. Now what happens is, when you are on flight, you would feel very uncomfortable to use the washroom in the flight, because at the end of the day it is a public lavatory, so a lot many women are not comfortable. So in that case, what I do is I avoid using the lavatory throughout the flight. If I want to use the lavatory, I use it before the passengers board, and once the cleaning is done, after the passengers leave. So I know that the lavatory is clean for me to use, and I avoid using the lavatory during the course of the flight. Now with this, it reminds me of an incident which happened with me on flight. My flight was delayed for 3 hours, and there was this lady who was chumming on the flight, and I did not know about that for the first 2 hours, naturally, because nobody was going to come and tell you that we are chumming. So after 2 hours, this lady comes to me and she tells me she wants to go to the arrival and use the lavatory in the arrival hall. So now that is something we cannot do, because you never know when the flight could get a clearance to take off, or once the passenger is in the aircraft, going back and coming back is not a thing. So that is something that we cannot allow. It could lead to missing of the flight, or delaying of the flight even further. So she was very, very uncomfortable to use the lavatory, but there was no choice. So in these situations, you have to be prepared from beforehand, because if you think that a sanitary napkin is not going to help you in these situations, there are a lot of products that are available in the market which you can use. So if you are going for a long flight which is like 4-5 hours, and you know that it is difficult for you to use the lavatory, or it is difficult for you to change, you could always use a tampon which works for around 4 to 5 hours. If you're not comfortable with a tampon, you could switch to a menstrual cap. Now a menstrual cap can hold for at least 12 hours, so you do not need to change for 12 hours, and then it's reusable, so you do not use a lot of sanitary napkins, as sanitary napkins are not very good for the environment. So you could switch to a menstrual cap. You can either choose from these most popular products that are available even online and even in the shops. Now as per your comfort level, you can choose to wear whatever you want, but you should always be prepared for such situations, because there could be delays in flight. There could be situations where you are not even comfortable to use the washrooms in the airport. So you have to be prepared, so that you do not face these kind of situations when you are actually going for a flight. There has also been an instance when this lady comes up to me and she tells me that she has started chumming on flight, and she did not have a sanitary napkin with her or any kind of product that could help her out. So she was very hesitant in the initial stage of her periods, naturally, but then she had no choice, so she had to come to us and ask us for a sanitary napkin. Now as I said, I always keep sanitary napkins in my bag, just in case if anybody else requires, or even a passenger who requires. So I always keep it handy with me. Now this lady came to me and told me that she was very thankful to me that I actually had that, because it would have led to a very terrible situation for her and a very embarrassing situation for her when she went out of the aircraft, because she didn't have any kind of jacket and she was just wearing a kurti, which was a very light colored kurti, so that could stain and make her very uncomfortable. So that's how I helped her out. Now remember that if you are traveling, so that you're prepared with all these things, because you would not want to fall in a situation where you need to ask somebody, because at times it could happen that nobody is carrying a sanitary napkin, none of the cabin crew is carrying the sanitary napkin. But if you are in a situation like that where you are not mentally prepared, please feel free to reach out to the cabin crew. Do not feel shy, because this is something that all women have. I do not think you should hesitate at all. If you want to go and ask the cabin crew, they are to help you, and they will definitely find a solution for this. So coming to a general perspective, what happens is when you are on flight and when you're sitting down, that's when the cramps become severe. And you must be able to relate to this also if you are working in a desk job and you're sitting the entire day. When you're moving around and when you are walking, when you're stretching, the pain is less. Also, it's all in the mind. So the more you move around, the more there is a physical activity done, not definitely heavy weight lifting and stuff, but if you have a little bit amount of stretching, it helps your muscles to expand. Now that is when the pain is less comparatively. So when you're sitting down, your muscles contract, which actually makes you have more cramps. So you might feel that you are having periods and it is best for you to sleep all day and not get up from the bed, but that is something which is actually wrong. If you are absolutely uncomfortable, you could take rest for some time, but a little bit of stretching and moving around will release those muscles and will expand. So that will help you to, reduce your pain. Also, some amount of stretching exercises that I do at home when I have periods, or if I'm PMSing, then I definitely do these stretching exercises, because it helps me to ease the pain. Initially, I used to sit in one place and I used to just compress my back, my stomach area, and just be lying down, take painkillers. But then I realized with flying that when you are idle, it pains you more, but when you're busy, it doesn't pain you so much. So I have noticed that when I am doing service, or when I have requests in the cabin and I'm moving around, I'm talking to people and I'm keeping myself diverted and I'm in action, that's when I do not even realize that I'm having pain. But it is only when I go and sit in my drum seat, or I have nothing to do at all, is when I become more conscious of the pain, and it also increases. So I think a little bit of physical activity is really important. If you are somebody who goes to the gym and exercises a lot, I would advise you not to go for heavy weight lifting and running on the treadmill, but like brisk walking, or a little bit of yoga and stretching is really good for you. There have been a lot of instances when I, actually not a lot, it's always happened to me like that I have the flight the next day and I start chumming just the day before or just the night before, and I just feel like, oh my god, I cannot go for the flight. And I used to do that initially, like when I started flying, and I used to get this pain. I did not feel like going for work at all, and what I used to do is I used to report sick at the end, and that was not a good thing on my personal profile. One day what happened was I was in flight and I started chumming in flight. Now the thing that was in my mind, that oh my god, I'm going to have a lot of pain, how am I supposed to manage, I cannot move around now. I had 4 sectors that day. I think I got in the end of the first sector and I knew that I had 3 more sectors to go. So there was no way that I could just end the flight and go back home, because that could lead to a lot of blunder and delaying of the flight. So just because of one thing, you cannot disrupt the entire situation. So I just went with the flow. I started working, and after 2 sectors, like after the second and third sector, I realized that I wasn't in so much pain that I thought I would be. For all the days that I did not go to work and I absented unnecessarily, reported sick for this issue which all women get. So what I realized was, when I am working, when I am distracted, when I am keeping myself busy, is something that I do not have a lot of pain. So from that day onwards, I stopped reporting sick and calling off my duty because of this particular reason. Because I noticed when I'm at home, it pains me more, because I'm not doing anything. I feel like the world is coming to an end, and there is a lot of pain in your body. Like every particular bone in your body starts paining, you start getting irritated, and there is nobody to talk to. So anybody who comes to you, you just feel like scolding that person, or you get very agitated. Now this is not for everybody, but I think majority of us have this issue. We have like terrible mood swings, and I have. So I do not know if a lot many of you have that or not, but these are things that will come to your mind only when your mind is idle and when you're doing nothing. So try to go on a lighter note, try to avoid conversations which make you feel irritated, to things that make you feel happy. Avoid doing certain things that could upset you and aggravate a situation. So this is how you could go through those days, and it is going to be very simple, it's going to be very easy. Now there is another question that is coming up on my DMs asking me that what do you do during training. You have to do the ditching drill. Now ditching drill is something that you have to jump into the water, and what about those days? Now girls, the thing is that if you are having periods, they are not going to excuse you for that. Everybody is having it. So you must be wondering what would you do in this case, because you cannot wear a sanitary napkin and go into the water. It's not hygienic. In that case, you could switch to a tampon or a menstrual cup, because that is safe, there is no leakage, and you would be uncomfortable in the beginning if you're not used to using these products. But I think you should just get the hang of it. I'm sure you'll be able to get accustomed to it. It's just like everything that we buy something new, and in the beginning you feel a little uncomfortable to wear certain things or to try on certain things, but when you start doing it, it becomes a habit and you get accustomed to it. So in the same way, things like that are also there that you could use in these kind of situations, because they are not going to stop the training because of you, and you would lose in the entire training, because you'll have to start it all over again. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope you found the video informative and a little bit of knowledge for you as well. If you liked the video, do share your experiences when you traveled on flight or even on a daily basis. I would love to read your stories in the comment section below. If you liked the video, don't forget to give the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. And don't forget to press the bell icon. See you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. I love you all.